سبيل الدموع سبيل مريح تنهدى يا صاحي كي تستريح.
Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to our assembly. A few weeks ago we learnt about the story of our beloved Prophet Ibrahim, and because we enjoyed it we wanted to share it with you. Prophet Ibrahim is a true inspiration for all of us. There are many important lessons to be learnt from his story.
Without further ado, let's begin.
Ibrahim was born in a kingdom that was in current-day Iraq and Syria. His father Azar was a well-known idol maker. As a young boy, Ibrahim watched his father carve these idols from stone or wood. When his father finished making these idols, Ibrahim would see people prostrate in front of these idols in the temples. Ibrahim was still a young boy, but even at such a young age, he knew that you cannot worship idols that do not speak or hear anything.
Time went by and Ibrahim grew into a young man. Ibrahim tried his best to make people understand that they were worshipping lifeless statues that could not be gods. He believed that the true God was surely greater than this. One night Ibrahim went up the mountain with some people. In order to make them understand their errors, he pointed to a shining star and said, "Could this be my Lord?" But when the star disappeared, and he said, "I do not like things that disappear." Then he saw the moon and again asked, "Could this be my Lord?" But it also disappeared. At daybreak he saw the rising sun and again asked, "Could this be my Lord?" However, when the sun set, he explained that none could be God. God will never disappear and is always present.
Ibrahim's mission was to call people to the truth, or worship of one Allah. He began with his father, who was the closest to him and whom he loved very much. He said to him in the kindest of voices, "O father, why do you worship a thing that does not hear or see and cannot bring benefit to you in any way? Follow me and I will guide you to the straight path. I fear that a punishment may fall on you." His father replied angrily,
Ibrahim, if you do not stop, I will stone you. Get away from me right now.
Yet Ibrahim still cared for his father and respected him and said, "May my God forgive you." Ibrahim then turned his efforts towards the people of the city. He knew that a big celebration was coming soon where everybody would leave town for a big festival by the river. After making sure that nobody was left in town, Ibrahim went towards the temple with an axe. Plates of food were given to the idols but were untouched. He approached one of the statues and asked, "Why don't you eat?" Ibrahim then asked the statues around him, "What is the matter with you, that you don't speak?" Then with his axe he broke to pieces all the idols except the biggest one. He hung the axe around its neck and left.
How great was the shock when people entered the temple. When the people came back, they asked what happened. They wondered who had done this. They remembered that young Ibrahim disliked their idols, so they questioned him.
"Are you the one that has done this to our gods?"
Ibrahim, being sharp and clever, replied, "The big one among them did this." The people replied,
"You know well that these idols do not speak."
Ibrahim then replied, "So how can you worship things that can neither speak nor see, nor can even save themselves? Have you lost your minds?" The people kept silent for a while. They knew deep down that Ibrahim was right. However, pride stopped them from accepting his word. People were very angry and started yelling and shouting,
"Burn him, burn him."
And so it was decided that Ibrahim would be thrown into a fire. The news spread far and wide in the kingdom, and many people came from different countries to watch Ibrahim being burnt. The biggest fire ever witnessed at that time was lit. The flames went up so high, taller than the houses. But as Ibrahim was thrown into the fire, Allah ordered the fire to be cool. And so, as Ibrahim walked out of the fire, the people were shocked that not a single hair on his body was burnt.
Time passed and Ibrahim invited King Namrud to the worship of Allah.
Ha! What can your God do that I can't?
My God gives life and causes death.
I can cause life and give death. Guards, kill that person over there. and let the other one free.
You're free.
See?
Well, my God can make the sun rise from the east. Can yours make it rise from the west? King Namrud felt beaten and puzzled. He didn't know how to answer this challenging question.
Only a woman named Sarah and a man named Lut believed in Allah and followed Ibrahim. When he realized that nobody else would listen, he decided to leave his homeland and spread the message elsewhere. Ibrahim married Sarah. They hoped to have children who would also worship and believe in Allah. But time passed and she realized that she was unable to have children. She accepted this and submitted to the will of Allah.
Later, Ibrahim and Sarah moved to Egypt, where the king gave Sarah a woman as a servant. The name of this woman was Hajar. Sarah noticed that Ibrahim was getting old, and it saddened her to see his chance of having children slip away. So she asked Ibrahim to marry Hajar, and she prayed to Allah to bless the new couple with a child. Allah accepted Sarah's prayers and blessed them with a baby boy, who was named Ismail. 14 years later, Allah also blessed Sarah with a son, even though she was now an old lady. The son was called Ishaq.
One day, Ibrahim asked Hajar to prepare herself and baby Ismail for a long journey. They arrived at Arabian desert, and Ibrahim took Hajar to a place between two hills, Al-Safar and Al-Marwa. And without a word, he walked away. Hajar ran after him and said, "Are you leaving us in this desert where there is no one to keep us company?" She repeated this many times, but Ibrahim would not respond. She then asked, "Has Allah ordered you to do this?" He replied, "Yes." Then Hajar said, "Then Allah will not let us die."
The water Hajar brought for their journey finished, and she and baby Ismail became very thirsty. She left Ismail between the two hills and ran between As-Safal and Al-Marwa 7 times. After she became exhausted, but when she returned back, she saw Ismail kick the ground. Allah had sent Jibreel, who scraped the earth with his wing, and miraculously water sprang out from the ground. She drank from this water and also filled her water bag and took care of the baby. This place is now the well of Zamzam in Mecca.
Ibrahim then later returned to Mecca. He saw Ismail under a tree near Zamzam sharpening his arrows. Ismail looked up. He was overjoyed to see his father. Ismail went up to his father just as any child would do, such after a long time. It was the happiest moment for both father and son, but the test that the Prophet had to go through did not end there.
One day Ibrahim had a dream that he was sacrificing his son Ismail. The dreams of prophets are always true and a form of revelation, so Allah was actually commanding Ibrahim to do what he saw in his dream. Ibrahim did not delay this command from Allah. Ismail agreed that his father should fulfill Allah's command.
So Ibrahim took a knife and attempted to make a sacrifice, but he could not, and so Ibrahim tried the second time, but Allah made the knife blunt so it would not cut. When Ibrahim tried for the third time, Allah sent angel Jibreel to move Ismail and put a ram in his place. At the same time, Allah made the knife sharp again. This time it cut straight through. And Ibrahim then realized that it was a ram he sacrificed and not his son. Allah praised Ibrahim for passing the test. So every year we celebrate Eid ul-Adha in remembrance of this great event by sacrificing an animal.
There are many lessons we may learn from this beautiful story, Prophet Ibrahim. The story of Prophet Ibrahim teaches us to respect everyone. Prophet Ibrahim teaches us to respect our parents, despite the fact that his father cursed him after the Prophet tried to guide his father. Prophet Ibrahim still cared for him by making dua for him. No matter how our parents treat us, we should always forgive and care for them.
We also learn to respect people regardless of faith. Prophet Ibrahim still respected the idol worshippers.
When preaching the truth and faith of Allah, we should not force people, as well we must do so in a manner which respects the person. Prophet Ibrahim gave dawah in a calm manner and non-violent manner.
Prophet Ibrahim was very much loved by Allah, yet Allah still made him go through difficulty. This was to test his faith and trust in Allah. One example is when Ibrahim was thrown into the fire, but because he had faith and trust in Allah, the fire became a rather pleasurable experience for Prophet Ibrahim.
Allah also tested Prophet Ibrahim when he was asked to abandon his family in a remote desert. And so as he successfully passed the test, Allah indeed looked after his family by providing her an abundance of Zamzam water. When we go through difficulty, we should therefore always persevere by simply having trust and faith in Allah.
So when we go through difficulty, we should therefore always persevere by simply having trust and faith in Allah. When inflicted with moments of hardships, we should simply view it as a test from Allah, and indeed, as we have seen with Prophet Ibrahim, Allah tests the ones He loves.
As a result of the hardship we go through, Allah will reward us better than what we expect. You have just heard two really great examples by Zainab and Hamza. Another example is that Prophet Ibrahim had to wait several years for a son, which he so very much desired, and in the end Allah blessed him with not just one but two sons.
So therefore we must have patience, and we have bared witness to the true patience which Prophet Ibrahim had. Always remember, though, that although patience can be painful, the reward for patience is promisingly sweet.
We have learned from Prophet Ibrahim that dua and asking for Allah's help is what we can aid to us to go through these difficult times. Dua is powerful. Eventually Allah accepted the dua of Prophet Ibrahim and Sarah to have a baby. Remember, Allah may not accept our dua straight away, but He will always answer our duas when He knows it is the right time to.
We also learn about the two of the greatest influential female models of Islam. Sarah loved Ibrahim very much that she allowed her husband to marry Hajar so he could have a baby. She clearly had an extraordinary amount of love for her husband and patience to have allowed this to happen. Sarah is my role model. Allah also tests Hajar's patience and faith in Allah. The moment in which Ibrahim leaves her in the abandoned desert, she allowed him to fulfill his mission in Allah and was immediately comforted by the fact that Allah would look after her. Both men and women can equally become close friends with Allah. Hajar is my role model.
We also learnt from the story of Prophet Ibrahim that we should always obey Allah. This links back to having trust and faith in Allah. Even if Allah commands us to do something we may feel highly anxious of doing, we should still do it. How do you think Ibrahim felt when being commanded to sacrifice his son? But indeed Allah rewarded him for his obedience, and we too shall be rewarded whenever we obey Allah.
There are plentiful of lessons which we can all, in fact, we should take away from Prophet Ibrahim. His tawakkul and love for Allah was so great, that's what we as Muslims should strive for. May Allah make us all be able to have that kind of tawakkul and love for Him, as well as, and may we be able to meet the beloved and inspirational Prophet Ibrahim in Jannah.
Ameen. Thank you for watching our assembly. We hope you enjoyed it. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
The Safar curriculum covers all the Islamic educational needs of young Muslims today in a fun, simple and engaging way. Tried and tested for over 15 years at one of the UK's leading maktabs. The curriculum has been adopted by hundreds of institutions around the world and makes your child's journey in seeking knowledge easy, meaningful and dynamic. This innovative and comprehensive curriculum covers Quran and Tajweed, Islamic studies, du'as and surahs, as well as Arabic in an integrated and structured way. Visit safarpublications.org to find out more.